With the current phenomenon of independent candidates, new political parties, strengthened opposition, as well as popular youth-led political movements, will the November Regional Council and local authority elections, which are traditionally characterized by voter apathy, have the highest voter turnout in Namibia's history? Today on One sat down with the executive director of the IPPR, a non-profit independent research organization that publishes statistics on Namibia's elections, to find out whether these factors could have an impact on the voter turnout for these elections.
These particular elections of 2020 are probably of more interest to the voter for a number of reasons. So, first of all, we have a more competitive political landscape after 2019 national elections. There's new parties. There's a new party in the Patriots Party this year. New candidates standing for the affirmative repositioning movement, possibly more independent candidates, a new emerging party like the Landless People's Movement, and then the PDM, which seems to have done better since it rebranded and renamed itself a few years ago. So these are definitely more competitive, also because SWAPO has lost some supporters of the ruling party in the last election. And therefore, this is some kind of incentive for a range of parties and candidates to think, okay, we can possibly at least get some of our candidates elected and maybe, depending on what happens, take control of one or two councils or more than that. So these are less predictable and more interesting elections. And therefore, I think that will be a pro in terms of having a better, higher turnout this year. Depending on how successful those parties are in mobilizing their support.
With the regional and local elections fever already taking place, the COVID-19 pandemic could have an impact on the turnout for potential voters due to public health risks.
At the moment, with supplementary registration taking place, I know there is unease and some concern amongst some potential voters whether they should actually go and register or to update their details, because there are health concerns around, and valid health concerns, despite the efforts of the ECN to make sure these registration stations are safe. So that, depending on what happens between now and the end of November, the COVID situation could be worse or better. So that could still be a factor that influences turnout negatively in November. So it's not quite clear what's happening at the moment.
According to Hopwood, the turnout for regional and local authority elections are generally between 30% and 40%.